There it is. Callie King 916. How are you? How are you? Happy Thursday. Happy Thursday to one and to all. Extending a virtual rose and love from a distance. My apologies for being tardy. I had no idea time had gotten away too quickly. I'm trying to do many things in a small window of time. I do not anticipate this to be very long. I anticipate it to be concise, however, clear. I would like to thank all of my members, my subscribers, my moderators, and those that just pop in from time to time for support. I thank you all so very much for that. Earlier today, on a break, and I am officially off, so I have some time. Welcome, Facebook. And thank you for the hearts. You know that I love the hearts. I'm trying to multitask here. So, in the title, it says, Full Circle, I will be heard. Over the past few weeks, little by little, piecemeal, if you will, I've been speaking more and more. And Callie King, good. I am glad you are doing well, and I'm doing well. So, what I wanted to speak on, as the title says, I will be heard. This is not going in, this is not roasting. It is a healthy dialogue that must be had and resonates with full circle. Now, many of you may not understand what that means to me personally. Hey there, Lynn Arts and Design. Hey there, Maritza. Welcome. Maritza, you may want to listen to this closely. Full circle. And that's just a colloquialism that says, hey there, APTV. What is done eventually shall come back. Or you may liken that to the chickens have come home to roost. And that is the last thing that I have spoke on, and it appears that it has. Now, a little bit of the motivation behind this. Number one, we are forging ahead to 2023, God willing. And for many, it has been rough in so many areas: employment, illness, depression, feelings of despair, hopelessness, some anxiety, maybe having to change locations, just dealing with life itself. Those few, and there are plenty more, are more than enough to keep one busy mentally and physically. So the addition of any unnecessary drama, especially, oh, no problem, especially the drama. Hey there, Lakin, how are you? Happy Thursday to you. Amelia, welcome. Happy Thursday to you. Those are my members coming in. But as I was saying, and Lakin, I'm sure you can chime in as well. And again, I have a little bit of time as I prepare for this epic, in my opinion, live tomorrow. But I, as I said, was on a break earlier, and I have been in different areas in YouTube as of late, and I have noticed that, hey there, the Queen Whitney world, welcome, welcome, happy Thursday, and it's a throwback Thursday. So again, welcome everyone. And the title of this is Full Circle. And in brief, it is going to just cover basically, you cannot, and I've said this before a lot of people that have just tuned in. When I say tuned in, I mean connected, and we share dialogue from time to time, or just respond to each other's posts. When you're networking and getting to know people, it's difficult sometimes to hit everyone with a comment or join in with their live, even though we may want to. It's difficult, especially when you're working or if you have children, and as I mentioned earlier, life that's going on. That being said, later on tonight, as I'm preparing for tomorrow, I will do that. But I noticed earlier today, as I was saying, a lot of other places have some of the same things that are going on in the main sector, if you will, that I'm in. Keep in mind, we all know what freedom of speech is, and I've said this many, many times, but there are exemptions to that. And not only that, behavior. I also understand that people are passionate about a subject, and their passion and the delivery may be a little bit different to what some people are accustomed to. And again, that's the beauty of being individuals. But what I'm speaking on or about to is the levels of disrespect and disparagement that goes on and has gone on for a very long time. I have had my dealings with it. I have seen others go through their share of it. Some may be in a different capacity, but when you intentionally seek to hurt someone by words or actions, if you're a believer, which I am, eventually it'll come back. And I have said this so many times. People, unfortunately, assume because a person is quiet that they may be timid or meek. No, not necessarily. They may not enjoy the drama. I am extremely too old to deal with that. Absolutely, Brett. At least we got our Christmas gift early with the Cowboys win. Welcome, Brett, and thank you for that. But there are people that, to me, seem as though they wait, and before they give thanks for being able to wait, because many people did not today. So if you look at it in that perspective, it may change your outlook on at least the day. We take it one day at a time. But some people wait with evil plots and plans on the mind. And I cannot see how one can be happy in doing that. Hey, Nate, glad you're here. I may drop the link and you can chime in if you want. You've spoken on this, but I'm talking about karma, full circle. And as I mentioned before you came in, you cannot just run amok and not think that consequences will not be knocking at your door sooner or later. And let me say this, and again, that is not to offend. And many people have told me many times, you cannot worry about offending anyone. You need to speak your truth because you can't please everyone. And that is absolutely the truth. Hey there, self-care and awareness. Thank you. And greetings from self-care all the way from Jamaica. And as a matter of fact, content creators, go ahead and drop your links, please, in the chat so people can go check your pages out. And hopefully, if you are blessed, you'll walk away with some subscribers. Now, as I was saying, this mess going around talking about people into personal business. Yeah, I understand entertainment. I understand beef. I've gone into my bag. And I will say, it has been with reason. Those of you that have followed me for some while know exactly what I'm speaking on. And I will say this, again, no offense to anyone. And I piggyback off of what Coach D. Jarrell said. Maybe it could have been a couple of weeks ago, I'm not sure. His feeling on a position, and I was like, I feel the same way, but at the same time, I feel bad. There are many content creators that I truly enjoy. However, there are some, not a lot, but there are some I do not. And there are certain members or people that just come along in the chat that makes things very unpleasant. I mean, the paradigm will shift almost immediately. I can't deal with that. I don't deal with that. That is why you will not see me in certain places I used to be. Again, I do not care if you have 1 million subscribers down to 1. And even those people, they're going to have dissension in their chat. That's just the way it is. But I would like, and thus far, for the most part, for various reasons, this platform as of late has run really smoothly. You're going to get trolls from time to time. I understand that, but some of the things that used to come into my chat that basically would state I was going to expire. And people actually wishing that I expire. And yes, I'm using that as a speaking point because even though I have forgiven those individuals, I have not forgotten. And I have said many, many, many times, I did what I had to do. And for those of you who aren't at a certain level, just because one thing may return denied, and I'll explain that in a minute. Do not think that's a win. It is not. Do you know how many cases that are on dockets where the first submission is denied? That happens. But if you amend something or you take it elsewhere, and it depends on your situation, that is where the difference is. So for me, I had to, by suggestion of my legal people, if you will, file protective orders. And let me say this, threats of any type should never, ever be swept under the mat as if, or people are just talking. The danger in that mindset is, and we've seen this play out, we do not know the mindset of certain people. So to sweep it under the mat, not be cognizant of your surroundings, can be a recipe for disaster. I do not take threats lightly. I take them extremely serious. Again, a roast, a joke, I don't care about that. I've been called Applehead, head of the class, all types of head jokes. Whatever. I'm only 5 foot even. You can't imagine the jokes I've heard on that. I don't care. Again, I'm 54 now. Those things don't matter. What matters is when things that begin on YouTube goes off of YouTube and comes to your home. Harassment, threats, cyberbullying. We are all adults here. We know right from wrong, but unfortunately, because of the ilk of certain people, everything is a joke. And to the females, because I cannot place woman on you, to encourage that and turn a blind eye when it comes to some people. You, and I am not saying this from a place of being offensive, it's coming from a place of being truthful. You cannot give a green light to one person because you may like them and they're doing the exact same thing as another person, but you're ready to put their heads in a guillotine. It doesn't work like that. So again, if there is extreme, disparaging, dark, evil spirits and remarks going on in certain places, I will go in quickly, speak to the host, maybe to a couple of members that I've seen, and I leave, because I have said so many times, the transference of energy is real. And the longer you stay around something negative, eventually that could rub off onto you, and then you bring it to someone else, and it'll spread and continue to spread. And that is what I'm seeing. Now, as far as my situation, as I said, I had to put out protective orders. And usually when the individual is in another jurisdiction, when you go to a commissioner, it's going to 99% be denied. And that is because they think that just because that person is miles and miles and miles away, that it's no big deal. But what some people still, unfortunately, in our legal system don't realize, that it may not be the person that started it. It could be someone else. But then when you add, and this is the part that I warned about, and I guess, well, no, it's worked, because I don't get certain messages anymore. Hey there, Big Pontiac, greetings to you. They are intercepted. And for those that pop on, and you may see a couple of Facebook people pop on, one of them is an officer. Now, you're not going to see any other people, but this is still being monitored. Self-care says, those people will be people. Don't let them drive. Oh, no, I am good. I am good. Trust me, it took a while to get here, but that is what an agent of chaos does. Some people realize that they are and just don't care. That is their purpose, to bring that chaos. So you have to garner enough strength to get away from that. Don't go there. If you know what the subject is going to be, especially if you know it's going to be about you, why would you put yourself through that? If it's just talk, let people talk. It's not against the law. But what is against the law? And let me make this clear again. What is against the law? And you can find yourself in a civil court, or perhaps worse, is defamation, libel, and slander. And if you're using electronic devices to cyberbully an attack, you've jumped off and gone on a federal level. I have said this early on in the beginning, and until I guess a couple of people received some letters or saw I wasn't playing, because I do have a little bit of background and I know what I'm doing. Now, things are starting to hit the fan. Some of you thought because you got away with so much for so long that YouTube, Google, and ABC was your shield. However, early on this year, I mentioned, and I cannot recall what live it was, but it was shortly thereafter the subway shootings in New York, that there needs to be legislation on the books to eradicate such behaviors from social media platforms. And if the owners of said social media platforms would not do their jobs, they could be facing class action lawsuits. Now, for those of you, again, who think just because you haven't received a piece of mail or a visit, and I know for sure there has been a visit, and I told you not to play with me. Looks like full circle is coming. And how fitting that it would become in 2022. Now let me read off a couple of things, and if I can find it, the link that is, I will put it in the chat so you can see, and those that catch the replay will know exactly what I'm talking about. And as I am doing this, tomorrow night, unless, and keep that in mind, unless there are any schedule changes, I am at peace, sweetie, and I reciprocate those prayers back to you, Maritza. I will put this in the chat, but again, just because things take time doesn't mean it doesn't happen. And those of you that are keying and cawing with some of these people that you know that are wrong, you do know there's possibilities that you may be called in, not because of anything that you've done, just to, how shall I say, confirm what's been asserted and attested to. And for those of you who don't know what that means is, once the affidavit is completed, and if there are any names before the individual that may have filed something, they have to assert and attest to it. If your name is on there, you may have to speak on if you were aware of anything. And the beauty of this entire thing, and I am not speaking on me, let me get that clear. I'm looking at 2023, but some others are looking at now. But I'm saying this to say, chats, especially when it's gone off into the federal level, those communications can be extrapolated. So if you want to be cute or showing off bravado, if by chance you're called and say, well, I don't know anything about it, keep in mind that what I just said, that chats can be extrapolated, and you know there are ways to find out your identity. Most are public anyway, so there's not really too much around that. But those who may think identities cannot be determined, such a thing is called digital footprints. And a couple of people who left foolish messages in my chat early on because of an individual, yeah, I know who you are now, and you haven't been back here since. So thank you for complying, because you could have been in a lot of trouble. Some of you, tread lightly, tread lightly. Those of you stirring up, yes, it's taken a while, Amelia, but again, prayer, faith, and as Dr. Bias said, if you truly have faith, you won't know that for sure until you're tested. And I had to be tested. It is December the 29th, 2022. I've taken my licks and I still stand. And as I was saying, unless there is a delay or last minute conflict in schedule on this platform, back to back will be Papa Duck and the Honorable Judge Joe Brown. And I put a teaser out there. Will they meet? Who knows? Maybe yes, maybe no. But to have two powerful voices, that is amazing in itself, because it'll speak to the generation that's coming and the older generation who some still are completely oblivious to what's going on and how their behaviors are hurting others in the community. So lately, I'm sure many of you all know, there has been, and this has been going on, I'm going to say for a while, but it's coming out now. Hey there, Blackbird, how are you? Happy Thursday. About children or people, individuals that may be 18 Or maybe not. Maybe they just look 18. Maybe they don't. But according to this nice little story, courtesy of Reuters, and I'll just read the caption so some of you can honestly see how serious this is. A United States Appeals Court on Wednesday, which was yesterday, revived, meaning brought back to life, a lawsuit accusing Alphabet Incorporated, Google, and several other companies, and violating the privacy of children under the age of 13 by tracking their YouTube activity without parental consent in order to send them to targeted advertising. The Ninth U.S. Circuit Court of Appeals in Seattle said Congress did not intend to preempt state law based on privacy claims by adopting the Federal Children's Online Privacy Protection Act. So, I'm getting ready to put that in the chat. Why is this big news? Because it shows, and this is for anyone who needs to hear this, and I already know there are some out there that do. Stop believing that just because, and that article is too long, we tried to truncate it. There we go. Don't think that you can just hide behind YouTube and study terminology and make sure that your grammar is correct and you use every type of protection that's available to you, that you will be fine. Because according to Reuters, and I just put it in the chat, YouTube is just a company. And this is, I'm trying not to laugh, but this is not the only class action lawsuit where YouTube is named as a culpable party. Which brings me to my next point. I am doing wonderful, Blackbird. Culpable party. Culpable? You're charged as well. And usually, the culpable party is the one with deep pockets. So, after compensatory damages are awarded, and this is the good part, punitive damages. That's where we go into the millions, ladies and gentlemen. Absolutely, Nate. That's where we get into the good part, ladies and gentlemen, because a lot of you agents of chaos on here, you don't have crap. And you think you can get away with doing certain things, harassing, threatening people, just doing the most and get away with it. No, you can't. And you can't continue to hide behind YouTube because, as I said, after the compensatory damages are awarded, especially on the federal level, when you're dealing with cyberbullying, the use of electronic devices to bully people. And some of you don't even realize you can delete or think that you're deleting something you haven't. And if something needs to be subpoenaed, that can be done too as an exhibit. So YouTube, after many, many complaints by so many people, who has allowed banter that is despicable and deplorable, threats, lies that could damage others, especially if you have a business, if you have a brand, and if you have a sponsor. That's where defamation, libel, and slander comes in. You cannot do that. You do know, once that's in the court system, your accounts can be frozen. Yeah, I don't think some of you actually know that or believe that. You may want to Google what happened to Kanye West when he tried to purchase something and something was frozen. No, yes, that's a celebrity. But at the end of the day, it's still a human being. So if that can happen to him, do you honestly believe that cannot happen to the regular Joe, if you will? No. As I said, what I'm speaking about has absolutely nothing to do with me. If it did, I would let you know. I've done all I need to do. And if anything comes of what I had to do to protect myself, it won't be until 2023, perhaps longer. And at this point, I'm not losing any sleep over it. As a matter of fact, I flourished. So thank you. Thank you for providing that hurdle that is now giving me strength to speak up. Now back to these agents of chaos. Some of you really need to mind your own business. You're causing people that you think you might be protecting more harm than good. Blessing to you all from Maritza. You're doing more harm than good, especially with your behavior. And again, full circle. Full circle. People are not just rolling over and allowing people to do and say what they want anymore. Hey there, Journey with Jackie Houston. Welcome. Happy Thursday to you. No, they're not. They are standing up and fighting back. Now, unfortunately, it takes time in certain situations. And unfortunately, there may be some casualties. And when I say casualties, I mean things that you may have wanted to go one way may go the other. It happens. That is why it is important to make sure before you do anything, you are solid in every area, that there are absolutely no holes that can be punched through. Because you have some savvy attorneys out there that can do that. And always, if you're a believer, keep the Creator on your side. When you point fingers, and this is old, this is one of the ancient adages I'm dusting off, but it is so true. When you are pointing your finger, you better look at the others, because none of us are perfect. We've all made mistakes. And understand this, I do believe, and I've seen people change, but they have to want to and have to be sincere with it. What you do in the privacy of your prayer closet or wherever you choose to be, if you follow prayer and repent, that is not for public knowledge. And some of you may have done that, but some of you may not have. And I'm telling you now, this election year, you have young people in office looking to score that big win, that big case, and will go above and beyond to ensure that is done. So if you're out there still playing around, I would suggest that you stop. Stop. You don't want that on you. And if you don't care about yourself, think about your family, your friends, or perhaps the legacy you may be leaving behind that will go back. And you acting like a buffoon will be in their memory bank. The wheels of justice turn slow, but trust and believe they turn. Oh, do they turn? And I can tell you about 3 people, I'm sure, who's laughed over the last few years aren't laughing now. They may be too. They're following, but deep inside, I can almost guarantee they're not. Leave people alone. Leave people alone. Hey there, Miss Queen. Happy Thursday to you. Leave them alone. You don't know who knows who, what connections are out there. And as I just put in the chat earlier, many has hidden behind YouTube for so long to protect them for causing problems. And you see, YouTube was slapped today, no, yesterday, with a class action lawsuit. And as I mentioned, hello there, Andrea, and welcome. Do your research. There's more. And as I mentioned, most people who start mess, they have no assets, not anything that can be of much value in the civil court. That's why you go this route, especially if it's on social media, because that's where the deep pockets are. So as I said earlier, once the compensatory damages are awarded, when you have a culpable party such as YouTube, who makes millions, billions perhaps, when the punitive damages are awarded, YouTube will have to pay the piper. But in the interim, what do you think is going to happen to the agent of chaos? Oh yes, full circle is here, ladies and gentlemen. And at the end of the day, the agent or agents of chaos, the person or persons to blame, is in the mirror. So all the trouble and heartache that you caused to individuals just for your entertainment, let's see how many of those individuals, and depending upon how some things may go, will put some of those donations you received on your books. Because some of you that are effing around, where it comes to federal charges, that's a problem. That's a problem. Speaking of which, Georgia on my mind. Georgia is also on the minds of feds. What am I talking about? I'm glad you asked. Oh gosh. Some days are just wonderful. State of Georgia worked over 450 million dollars in the PPP loan. Actually, let me take that back. Excuse me. 530 million. Hold on, let me do this. 530 million to Georgia. For PPP loans. $530 million to Georgia for PPP loans. Would you like to take a gander as to how many of those could possibly be fraudulent loans? And this is good because this is my area. You do know that if these loans were forgiven and paid back in the entirety, because individuals or an individual signed a document, a federal document, under the penalties of perjury, that their loan request met every piece of criteria, that's bank fraud. And for those of you that received any amount from $5,000 to the largest amount, defense, that's wire fraud. And how's this nugget for you? The statute of limitations in investigating these types of frauds have increased. But wait, there's more. Some of you slicksters received these loans, but you don't even live in the state of Georgia. How rich is that? Absolutely, Andrea. So, I hope for your sake, you bought Christmas toys and all the toys and bells and whistles that you could, because when it hits an agent's desk, and it depends on the jurisdiction, you may have penalties, and some, unfortunately, jail time. And again, there are so many people that don't understand. Well, if I pay it back, you're paying back what you stole. In the industries that you will find if you research are normally barber shops, salons, landscaping. Landscaping is a big one. Beauty and barber, though, are the largest. Trucking and restaurants. little bit of research, you know your businesses are supposed to be registered. If you don't do anything else, make sure you have your business registered with the state, or if you're incorporated, that it can be verified. Unfortunately, people that truly needed that assistance weren't able to receive it because of those who used the system. So, the SBA Southeast region excuse me, I was getting ready to laugh when I saw a particular state, serves Alabama, Florida, Georgia, Kentucky, Mississippi, North Carolina, South Carolina, and Tennessee. And as you can see in my title, full circle. When you intentionally inflict harm on people for your enjoyment, eventually consequences will be paid. And many times, the individual with whom is seeking to be made whole will have that done by something or someone totally unrelated. That's the beauty of energy and vibrations. And I know many of you have heard this before. Some of you, for some reason, I don't know, maybe because you haven't experienced it. But what you put out eventually does return. And I've said this, many others have said the same thing. It may not get you directly, but something or someone you truly love. That is why, in my opinion, it is not a good idea to place love on worldly things. Because truly, within a blink of an eye, all of that can be taken away. And what do you have left? I think some of you, prior to going in to 2023, myself included, should really reflect and make sure any fences that need to be mended. And again, keep in mind, the other individual or individuals, they don't have to accept anything. Some people are hurt or so distraught behind your words and actions, they may not be able to do it at this time. The only thing you can do is attempt to and be sincere with it. And know when you place your head on the pillow at night that you harbor no guilt because you sincerely tried to mend a fence that you know you caused the issue. Andrea says, pop goes the weasels. Weasels get caught. Yep. And again, if I was speaking on myself, I would be a lot more animated, trust me. And if any of you heard me when the Cowboys won on, was it Christmas Eve? I think it was Christmas Eve. I got up twice and opened up my door and yelled, "How about them Cowboys?" So I am very spontaneous when I get excited over a win. Operative word here, win. But no, this has absolutely nothing to do with me other than my dealing with something earlier and having to forgive and move on, but do what I needed to do. And again, who knows what the future may hold? But I'm not speaking about me. Mm-mm. Some people like to keep picking at different folks. And that's another strategy I can at least let go. In order to come out strong, you wait. It's okay, Blackbird. It's okay to have your opinion. You wait. You wait. And if a pattern of said behavior in different jurisdictions is presented along with any other mischief, those that come in my chat are critical thinkers, so I don't need to elaborate on that. You wait. And if a pattern of behavior that includes in different jurisdictions and any other mischief can be established, we shall see, Blackbird. And when you have a strong legal team and advisors, that's what you do. You wait. And sometimes the work will be done by someone else. So, I'm not laughing. I'm truly not. In a physical sense. And I'm not going to say, I told you so. But what I will say is, for any of those that think this is the way to go, I wouldn't really suggest it. I wouldn't. Because eventually, and this is fact, all things come to an end. And those who were once laughing, cheering, boasting, make sure you have some tea to ease your nerves. Oh, I'm not. I'm not at all. And to be honest, Blackbird, I'm glad you said something because I had no idea that there was a game tonight. Oh my goodness, it is Thursday. Again, I've been running around like crazy, and again, trying to prepare for tomorrow night's broadcast. So thank you for letting me know. God, I can't believe I'm so far behind. But yes, 2023. Oh my goodness, I've got to hold on. Let me look at my calendar real quick. 2023. I wanted to do a. I may do. I have no choice but to squeeze it in sometime on Saturday to do a vision board. And maybe tomorrow, I'll go to the store and get some items, but vision boards are something I truly believe in. And you just cut out pictures or affix maybe something personal to you to a board, or you can go to any little hobby shops or whatever. And some people like to journal. I like to journal as well, but a vision board is something that I've been doing for several years now. You put your visions on it and you put it in a place where you can see, and you meditate on it, and you strive for that. Some people may want a vacation. Some people may want a home. Some people may want to obtain another degree. Some people may want to have children. Anything that you envision, and you find a source that inspires you, you put it on that board. If it's better health, if it's losing weight, investing in a trade, anything, you put it on that board and you look at it every day and invest in learning how to put out positive affirmations. Replace I think with I will, and start putting those things out in the universe so we'll come back. These last few years, I've accomplished over 85% of what I've placed on my vision board. And no, things are not easy, but it helps me stay focused. I don't do New Year's resolutions. A lot of people do. I don't knock anyone for doing that. But I know for myself, and I've heard others say, when you place those, and it can be challenges or pressure on yourself, I'm not going to eat this anymore, because I did that one year. I said I wasn't going to eat chocolate anymore. On January 1st, about 4 or 5 o'clock p.m., I went right to the store and got a Reese's peanut butter cup, and had my nerve to look around to see if anybody saw me do that. So I don't do those. I don't do New Year's resolutions. Again, some people are good with it. I'm not. I just feel like it's too much pressure. Same thing with diet. And that can be used different ways, but I would prefer to say a change of lifestyle, because we have to be honest here. Temptations are out there. And if you're addicted to something, like I used to be with Dunkin' Donuts coffee, and every now and again, if I'm out late, I may drop by and get one. When you stop cold turkey, you end up getting headaches, and you get real mean and unpleasant to be around, because those withdrawal symptoms are horrible, at least for me. So if you want to splurge, go for it. But I would suggest if you do it in moderation so it won't be as difficult. And as I said, I'm speaking for someone 50 and older. Some things are extremely difficult. It can be done. Absolutely. Absolutely. And I am as well. And yes, I'll fall off. I'm telling you, Reese's, that is my weakness. I will go in to purchase some gas and I'll see a Reese's cup on the end cap and I'll walk by it towards the cash register and out of nowhere I'll hear it say beep, beep. And somehow or another it ends up in my hands as I'm going to my car. Hey there, King BJ. How are you? And welcome. And thank you for that live. And I read a story, King, about, oh, let me find it real quickly. Oh, never mind. That's you. I just read earlier about, I want to say maybe an additional 1,000 maybe flights from Southwest have been canceled. So it's just amazing. We spoke on that last night, and I just read that maybe a couple of hours ago. I'm like, wow. And let me see if you scroll up, let me just put it back in here again. And this is for those who are just coming in or catch the replay. Those of you acting crazy out here on YouTube, this is a class action lawsuit where YouTube is a defendant. And if you Google, you'll find more. So no longer can you agents of chaos. Now let me be clear on this. You don't have to have anything large to stir up a mess and be an agent. That can and will be dealt with as well. For those of you that are going from platform to platform doing that, you too can have consequences. YouTube is to network, to glean information, hopefully foster something positive that others can use, and yes, entertainment. But entertainment should never go dark, and unfortunately, it has. But fortunately, measures are now. And they should have been a long time ago. But again, patience is a virtue. Measures are now in place where, absolutely, where your shenanigans, your buffoonery, your harassment and bullying shall soon end, because once it's in court of law, certain things may be frozen. So please, please, and I'm being very serious, keep that in mind. And others who may not have ascertained anything at this time, but may be seeking to do so, you're not exempt. You're not exempt, because the same actions and invisible dog whistle that you're blowing for others could backfire on you. So bottom line, allow people to handle their situations the best way they see fit. Because when you open up Pandora's box, the other individual or individuals may have life-size skeletons in their closets that you may not have known about. Which can result in a cluster, you know what, of mess. Because you've decided to place yourself in something that had nothing to do with you, directly or indirectly. Let me see what King says. Absolutely. Absolutely. BlackRock trying to say recession will be monumental. I cannot believe that, especially this time of year, can these flights, and that too is going to be an issue when it comes to mental health. And people have planned months, they've saved months, and now they're faced with this. Can you imagine those that may have serious anger issues, the things that could happen because of these type of situations? And you have low lives, they don't care about anything, it's going with other people. Some of you all are going to screw with the wrong one. Some of you already have. But again, that's not me. That's not me. Trust me, if it were, you would know. My voice would be an octave higher, like it is when I'm watching a football game. And I'm not particularly speaking in general. There are situations that I know about. I'm not going to speak on. It's not my place to. But like I said, sometimes you have advantages in knowing certain things. But this has been a rocky beginning of 2022, and it has ended for all intents and purposes. the way you're supposed to by design. I am a lot stronger, a lot more healthier, and discernment much stronger. And again, just because I don't say anything doesn't mean I'm not aware. You just wait and watch. Wait and watch. You will see the truth in due time. So with that, I've said all I needed to say. I've addressed all that I've needed to address. And I've provided links and information that can be fact-checked. That will confirm everything I have said from early on. I truly pray for those souls that you make what was wrong right. And as I said, maybe you have. I don't know. What I do know, all that BS that I had to go through with ain't happening no more. And for any that may not know, I would make sure I read people's intros on their pages and make sure that before you enter a chat and leave any type of comment that may be construed as harassing or threatening, because it will be intercepted. Some of you can look back at some of my last lives. You don't see all that BS anymore. That should tell you when I said that my page was being monitored, I wasn't joking. I don't play games like that. Not at all. And some of you have seen people pop up that are officers. So be foolish if you want to. The livelihood you save may be your own. And those, again, no offense, that are following and cheering that on, the same applies to you. Full circle. Instead of trying to help build in the communities, network with people, share their information, learn something new, Some of us rather tear one another down. And yes, we all have our bad days where we may not feel like talking, or we may be short, or may not give the best conversation. I'm guilty of that, especially November, December. Those that know me will tell you that. I'm going to leave her alone for a bit. But it's just because it's just a rough time. I'll just leave it like that. But life goes on. It's something that we all eventually will deal with. And it's just how you cope with it. And I find that helping others, showing some high points and laughter, that brings me out of a funk I may be in, which is also a tool. When you're feeling bad or low, do something for someone else. And again, it doesn't always have to be monetary. It could be a kind word, or a nice email, or just something. And when you know that they're smiling, or even if you hear them chuckle, you know that you brighten someone else's day, which means you put someone before you. I think more of us should invest in learning how to be altruistic. And that is basically putting others before you, because we don't know truly what one is going through. Some of us wear masks often, and I'm not speaking of these masks for the pandemic. I'm talking about smiling or laughing when deep down inside we're truly hurting. But because some people are so devious, we can't allow ourselves to really express those emotions, because people will use that against us. And I've seen that too. So it's a lot. I'm not going to dwell on that. I just hope and pray 2023 will be better for everyone in some way or another. But the rule of thumb is it starts within you. You have to recognize it. You have to truly want it and make those steps. And I'm not going to sit here and say it's going to be easy. Nothing is easy. Nothing worth having or achieving, let me rephrase that, is easy. Things that come easy to some people, when it dries up, all life is different. So that is all that I wanted to share. I have purged what was inside of me, and I am good. It is actually 51 degrees. And just last week, on this day, or yesterday, we had a strange weather event where some states encountered temperatures in the negative degrees, some snow, some sleet, and here today, a sunny 51, and usually by now, sun would be down. It's still up. Be cognizant, everyone, of what's going on and around you in this world. Take care, be safe, be well, be healthier, and for those who will be able to attend tomorrow, I have 2 individuals scheduled back to back. The question is, will they meet? I don't know. Will they? Either way, they both have a message of positivity and raw truth. Enjoy your Thursday. Thank you again to my members, my mods, subscribers, and to everyone that has supported and continues to support this platform. I thank you all. And bye-bye for now. YouTube, Facebook, thank you.